Today's Rice Report features an outtake from my recent two-part interview with Lynette Zang from ITM Trading. In case you have not watched both parts of that interview, I will have them linked down below in the video description. Be sure to check them out. Now, before we started recording, I was talking with Lynette and I was asking her about her thoughts on currency revaluations. She suggested that we go ahead and start recording. Now, it didn't really fit in with either parts of the interview, but I did want to share this information because it's a great answer to a good question. I also wanted to share that I have recently partnered up with ITM Trading. So if you want to schedule a gold and silver strategy call to build your wealth shield and support Rice TVX, be sure to use my specific landing page that you see on the screen, and I will also include custom Calendly links and an 800 number that you can utilize to schedule your strategy call with the ITM trading professionals. And again, it is a way to support Rice TVX.
Just talking about
Talking about
currency
the Iraqi
revaluations.
currency revaluations with the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. Is that correct?
Sure, but why don't we just talk about revaluations with the US dollar? Okay, because it really doesn't matter. It would be like going back to the gold and silver certificates, and there's no gold or silver to back those certificates anymore. Will they be brought back to life? Of course not, right? So once a currency has lost all of its value and the population no longer trusts it, it's a dead currency. But when they created this system, what they know are that people marry the legal money of the state, right?
Right.
And so it's like impossible for most people to realize that once it goes away, it goes away. They always have hope that it's going to come back. It doesn't. They'll do another iteration. So like in Venezuela, you had the Bolivar, and when the Bolivar was revalued and gone, they came out with the Bolivar Fuerte, the strong Bolivar, which is also gone. So that's what, but that's how they hook you in. Just like now we have the digital dollar, right?
Right.
The digital dollar. Well, why do we have a digital dollar? Because here in the US, we have dollars. And so to get people comfortable with using the digital form, the new CBDCs, we're kind of jumping ahead, but
It's all right.
this is, it just kind of, it makes sense to talk about it in here because they need people to just accept the change, right? As if there's no change at all. So by keeping the name in some form, people don't realize that everything has changed. Like go to 1971, right? The dollar that existed prior to August, and I was around as a teenager, I think I was like, I would have been 16 in 1971. So that's kind of old enough to sort of get a sense of what's going on, but not really understanding what's going on. If my parents had understood it and my uncle, then they would have talked about it and I would have understood it more. But, who knew? But if I had a $20 bill prior to August 71 and I had a $20 bill in September of 1971, if you look at those two bills, the older bill and then the newer bill, they look almost identical.
Right.
Right? And so people think, well, nothing has really changed, when in reality, everything had changed. So you went off the gold standard purely. I mean, we were only quasi on it then anyway, but still, gold still created some level of responsibility and restrictions on what the government could do. Once we went to the debt dollar, Okay, so then there were no more restrictions, and look at where we are now when we go to the digital dollar. Well, what's going to change? What's going to be different? It's absolutely the level of control. That's what's going to change more
Yeah.
than anything else, is that level of control.
That programmability. And I'm definitely looking forward to getting into that discussion. And I appreciate you suggesting that we should start recording with that question I was asking you in regards to the Iraqi dinar and dong in relation to the revaluation, since there's a lot of different people that would be content creators who have YouTube channels that are promoting these kind of ideals of things that they say will be happening. And they've been saying this for quite some time and it just hasn't happened. And I wanted to obviously kind of get your thoughts on it. So thank you.
Yeah. There's no historic precedence for that happening, and it is completely illogical. I mean, why in the world would any government or any central bank hand their wealth, especially outside of the borders?
Right.
Because the population isn't using it.
Well, logically too, when I first heard about this concept back maybe sometime in mid 2020 is when I think a lot of, I mean, I know it was going on before that, but they started gaining a lot of traction in that time period. And when I had first heard about it and just thinking about the number of individuals who were trying to take advantage of this opportunity, I was thinking about how many people, if this was really a reality, would that make wealthy, and how much money does that put into the system? And then if a lot of people have that kind of money, does that mean that the wealth is the same? Is the purchasing power the same? So it's interesting to think about those concepts. It's just
Yeah.
people are looking for an easy way out, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's, personally, I have never found an easy button in my life. I have
No.
had to do everything the hard way.